Welcome to the Fashion Label Brasil podcast. I'm Andreia Farah, a fashion and innovation journalist, and your host for this new series brought to you by Abest and ApexBrasil. We are excited to present a curated selection of the finest Brazilian brands, from the days of Carmen Miranda to the cangaceiro sandals that took Paris by storm after the Bandit won in Cannes in the 1950s, to Bossa Nova, bikinis, supermodels, iconic denim, and today's Brazil core. Brazil has always set the trends. In this episode, join us as we explore the dynamic world of 5 innovative Brazilian fashion houses. From bikinis and accessories to shoes, casual Carioca looks, and luxury leather, tune in and discover the best that Brazil has to offer. We begin with Ira Salles, an accessories brand that embraces natural materials and supports women's organization in beautiful Bahia. Both local and global, Ira Salles, who studied at Parsons in New York, was exporting her stunning bags even before selling them locally in Brazil. Hello, Ira. How are you? Could you share a bit about the history of your brand?
Hi, Ale. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Well, the Ira Salles, we started 25 years ago. It's a long time. I studied at Parsons in New York. From there, I realized that it was missing like a Brazilian style, something that really reflects the identity of our country. So I decided to come back to Brazil and in Bahia start my own production, like making with local people, exploring their artisanal techniques and developing design bags that could be sell anywhere else in the world. So that's how I started 25 years ago. And we've been growing and we've been getting the recognition of the international buyer as like a Brazilian style, as a Brazilian brand. So that's how we started. Now in the company, we have 15 people, several communities, like which be among between 50 to 80 women working in the handmade process.
Wow. And when did you start to sell abroad?
In the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the beginning, since the very, very beginning, I started selling in New York before selling Brazil. And I was living there. So I was making small collections in Brazil and I was selling in New York, started selling there. And then like the company became like growing and the demanding was growing. So I decided to come back to Brazil and take care of the production.
So, Ira, what was the first handbag that became popular among international customers?
In the very beginning, I made a very colorful crochet bag. And this like became the identity of the brand. Since the beginning, people look at the bag and said, oh, this is nice. And I made for myself. And a lot of people, oh, this is cool. I want that. And so I started making like a small collection. And this was the identity of the brand since the beginning. Color, handmade. So that's the image of Ira Salles.
Do you still do this? Make this bag?
Yes. I still make this kind of bag. I still make the straw basket. I have a lot of customers from Japan. They love this style. And I think this is people is always looking for this.
Do you have one bestseller?
I have the straw basket, and there's one bag which is like a big one, very colorful, all handmade. The crochet handmade. Those are my two.
The straw, the crochet.
Yeah.
So what do you think changed from the early 2000s to now, like in the way that the people see the Brazilian fashion, perceive the Brazilian fashion?
I think that the Brazilian market has become very professional. And we became more like confident about our fashion because a long time, let's say 25 years ago, we are looking what people are doing out abroad, and then we start to get some information from that fashion, from that style to bring to Brazil. Now we are selling this. We are selling this, our style. So I think that's where I'm saying Brazil, it's like it's a very strong market, fashion market in the world, created their own style. So I think we really dominate in some areas like the swimwear. Everybody in the world wants to wear Brazilian bikinis, want to wear the Brazilian prints, want to wear the color of Brazil. So we are selling this to the world. So I think it's a way, like we have to understand what people outside wants from us. And what I see is this kind of fashion. We sell happiness, people, right? We sell happiness. We sell colorful. We sell there is like a meme that says, "Oh, when everybody else is like working and taking care of some other things, we are dancing." Okay, we are the happy people, right? We have to take the advantage of what we have.
That's true. So I wish you a great success. 25 years already exporting, telling the world what Brazil is, making success. So I wish you more 25 years and much more.
Thank you so much, Ale. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, let's grow our Brazilian fashion more and more and more and more.
Now, let's continue our journey through Brazilian fashion with our next guest, Pedro from Parioca. Parioca captures the vibrant spirit of Rio with effortless, chic designs that reflect the laid-back elegance and tropical charm of the Carioca lifestyle. Hi, Pedro. So could you please start sharing some insights into the history of Parioca?
I started Parioca in 2015 as a side business. I wanted to create something different from what I had in Brazil at the time. So I decided to launch a capsule collection with one item, one SKU with 5 different prints. And funny enough, in our first collection, we did quite well. We sold most everything. So I decided that this was something that I wanted to pursue. So we started very small with one product and 5 different prints. And through experimenting throughout time, we started adding things to our collection. So that's why when we first decided to do our first show in Paris, we did Tranoi with the help of Abest. From there, I learned that I needed some other products as T-shirts, caps, trousers, bags, which started doing over the years. Abest has been fundamental in our international growth, because with the financial aid that they provide, and also with a consistent knowledge on how to drive the collection in order to bring more sales. So I did several workshops with them. And because of that, now we are in over 30 shops across the world. I did the opposite way to what people usually do. Usually people start in their own country and then they go abroad. I did the opposite. I decided to go abroad before I started to do my sales in Brazil. First, because our prints, the whole idea, the whole concept of the brand is cheeky patterns. So we play with a human body and with a human form, and we create patterns out of it. So Brazil has this charisma, this charm that international people see in us, which is the beauty of life, the beauty of the human body, the acceptance of the human body. From that, we started doing the prints. The name Parioca consists on a few things. There was a Parisian community living in Rio that they call themselves the Pariocas. And also, I'm Pedro and I'm Carioca. So it all made sense for me to give this name Parioca. So I wanted to have a Brazilian brand that had an international point of view. So creating the designs, I tried to create a Brazilian lifestyle that could be understood for people across the globe. So I think international consumers are willing to buy things that are fun, funky, and that have a fun price. Let's put it this way.
Okay. So nowadays, how many stores do you have abroad, like multi-brand stores?
We are now in over 30 multi-brands across the world. We tend to usually select like charming boutiques. We don't really work with huge department stores because our production is still not huge. Although we already produce 8,000 units a year, we do selective patterns for each one of them. So, for example, we now sell in Miami, in Palm Beach, in the Hamptons, in Mykonos, in Ibiza, in Lisbon, in London, São Paulo, Rio, Trancoso, and we end up creating different patterns and different tone palettes, different colors and different styles for each of these shops.
Oh, interesting. So you're very customized.
Yes, we tend to customize in a way because we understand that different colors, they work in different cities.
So is it difficult for you to have one bestseller?
Well, basically what we do is that we keep the styles and we modify the patterns. And then sometimes we do alterations a bit longer or a bit smaller. Like for instance, we sell in the Middle East in Beirut. And there, they require for the swimsuits to be a bit longer than we usually do. Great. So everything can be modified according to the shop.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you feel about the Brazilian core? What they think when you tell that you are a Brazilian brand?
I think consumers, when they look for our brand, for instance, is the uniqueness of the print. Mm-hmm. So I think people, when they think about Brazil and they think about resort, they wanna buy something that's different and something that's fun and that it's light and that not very expensive also.
And sexy.
I think you can look sexy and chic at the same time. You don't need to. Mm-hmm. I think this concept of that sexy equal trashy, it's done. You know, I think you can look sexy at any age. The designs we do for women, which we use a lot of mesh and see-through fabrics, our clients go from 15 to 75-year-olds. Wow. You know, like it's just a matter of how you feel it.
So the first product was the men's shorts, right? Is it still the bestseller?
Yes, it's still our bestseller. I wanted to create a gift, like a brand that people could gift. And in the end of the day, like a swimsuit for a man is the best gift you can give a man.
Yes.
In Brazil, because it's summer year round. Like you can give your brother, you can give your father, you can give your uncle, you can give your grandfather, you can give your son-in-law. It's just a fun product. And then everyone needs, you know, and because there's the elastic waist also, it's easy to get the sizing right.
Great. So before we finish, what do you think about Brazilian core? Do you think the Brazil is more fashionable right now?
I think Brazil is more fashionable right now. I think people are less frustrated with Brazil at the moment. And I think they're ready to see.
What do you mean about frustrated?
Listen, everything in life, like it's trends, right? Like countries, destinations, interests. Like Brazil had its peak a few years ago, and then for some time people got bored of it. Mm-hmm. And then I think now it's charming again. You know, like even like you see like it's like trends. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I don't want to be political.
You're not. Listen,
I think what's important in business, in fashion, is consistency. Mm-hmm. Among what I feel is the most important thing is for you to create a design or, you know, a new pattern or a new cut or a new style or a new material, and you be consistent to it. And then you show again and again the collections which make sense and you have a core identity. Mm-hmm. I think the issue with the brands that they don't sell well abroad is because they show something this year, then next year they don't show anything. Like the work is not consistent. And also what's very important is for you to be consistent in your time frames of deliveries, which I think is like when you're a client and you're buying from a brand, you want to make sure that it's going to be delivered in time.
Yeah, you cannot delay, right?
Yes, you cannot delay.
So you came from the financial business, like banks. Are you enjoying fashion?
You know what? Sometimes I think I'm crazy that I ditched banking, but I just have a lot of fun. I think if you believe in what you're doing and you do a good work, I'm sure that eventually things happen. Listen, I went from doing one product to 125 a year.
Wow.
I now have employed 10 people. I have 10 collaborators, and it's a lot of work. Sometimes I think I'm crazy that I've done this. Sometimes I think I'm a genius. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Future will tell if I was playing stupid or just like had a lot of fun. What matters is that I had fun. I have fun, and I enjoy every minute of it.
So I wish you much success, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you for the interview.
Cheers to us. Cheers to Abest. Cheers to you, my friend. Lots of love.
Kisses. And now, from one Carioca brand to another, let's shift to Kenner, a true icon in Brazilian footwear. With a rich history and a team over 3,000 people, Kenner is known for its innovative designs and unmatched comfort. Hi, Jefferson. Could you please share some insights into the history of Kenner and how the brand has evolved over the years?
Yes, sure. Kenner, born in 1988 in Rio de Janeiro, one of the most iconic cities in Brazil, based on the design concept made by our founder, Mr. Peter Simon, that created the first sandal with the aim to have a footwear that gets the feeling that you step into the sand, beach sand. And it was the first product that we created at that time. Along the years, new styles were created and become an extreme success in Brazil. And today, our portfolio of products, they start from some basic flip-flop sandals up to more conceptual products, more aspirational products, sandals we are going to reach. And this allows us to reach different publics in Brazil. So today we realize that Kenner is more than a footwear. It's a symbol of Brazilian street culture.
Good. What's the size of the company today?
The company today, we have around 3,000 employees, and we are manufacturing around 8 million pairs of footwear per year.
So how long ago did you start exporting?
We started exporting at the end of 2022. In the first year, we had a very interesting learning process internally in the company to be prepared for all the requirements, certifications, and demands from the international market that they are quite different from the Brazilian ones. We know our domestic market. We grew up in the domestic market, and we were preparing that for 1 year. And last year and this year, we started with the project. And the first step was United States with the launching in March of this year with our global website, where we have our e-commerce United States to serve the United States of America and territories. And the second step now is to starting to present the brand in France. We have a lot of activities, of brand activities in Paris since June of this year and during the Olympic Games, of course, as the most important steps to start with the internationalization of the brand worldwide.
Great. So in the last 2 years, how do you perceive the growth of Brazilian fashion on the global stage? And is it Kenner being well received? What can you tell us about your experience?
Well, Kenner is really very well received. We are investing in the visibility of the brand. Besides that, we have some support from our global ambassadors that are Anitta, the Brazilian famous singer, and Macego is also a singer, but he's born in Jamaica, but is pretty famous in United States. She is now an international name. We were supporting her global punk concert tour worldwide, where she also had the opportunity to promote Kenner that is really connected with the urban Brazilian music. which funk is one of the most iconic. And this connection is really, really important for not only a concept and a global trend that the funky music is getting. And not only about music, but arts. We are really in connection in doing some cultural development in the last 2 weeks. For instance, in Paris, we are in an art gallery with the Brazilian designers that together with the Kenner. So we connect the Brazilian culture, street culture, not only music, but also paintings, designs, graffitis that are created based on the Brazilian street culture with our growing, with the Kenner and its grow in this foreign market. In this case, specific to France.
Great. Perfect. Jefferson, I wish you great success as a Kenner brand with 25 years of markets, 3,000 employees. You deserve much success.
Appreciate. Thank you very much for all the support.
Now, let's move from a real classic to a rising star from São Paulo. House of Amem, just 2 years old, is redefining luxury leather with bold, innovative designs. Welcome, Andreia. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Hi, it's amazing to be with you.
Can you give us an overview of the company?
Okay. It's Amen is not anything related about the religion. It's not about that. We're looking for a name. It's easy and with the same pronounce around the world. So Patricia, my business partner, Patricia Veneziano, and I always loved leather. So we started a market research and we realized that you have a space in Brazilian market for leather clothes and a brand with strong image, Of course, that you wanted to introduce other products categories in the future, but we decided started to with leather. We know that leather is a very polemic material, but I think we're doing a real good job worrying about sustainability and the best process, certifications, and everything. We have advisors that we're working with us to do the best job that you can with leather clothes and with leather industry, looking for best practices and everything.
How long ago did you start Amem?
We started Amem in 2 years and a half. We started in 2022 and fashion executive for 30 years. I have a long career in the fashion industry. And Patricia, my partner, has an amazing history with communication and executive producer. So I think you put together the strength of product and a strategy that I have, and with the ability and the networking from Patricia for creating our image, our branding. So you mixed everything. We mix the strengths, the power of both of us. And I think you are doing a very good job to create a luxury brand that intend to sell around the world. So important at the early stage, one brand, the delivery. So we have a huge commitment with delivery for our customers.
I know your product, you have great quality and a design that's very, very amazing. Do you think your product is made to be exported?
I think the collection is so international, I think the quality, the fitting and everything. I think the biggest challenge for us, for Ame, is not about the product. I think the world expected coconut trees from Brazil, bikinis, caipirinhas, and samba. I think made in Brazil, I think it is our biggest challenge because you don't sell coconut trees.
How many people work for you and where do you produce?
We produce in Brazil at this
São
moment.
Paulo?
In São Paulo, yes, in São Paulo for a while.
It's super local.
Yes, super local. We have our team is so small. We have 5 people in the office, but we have a lot of partners and advisors and companies that you have working with us, giving support us, working for third parts as well.
Do you already have a bestseller?
We have a jacket. The name is Cruella jacket. It's a jacket with shoulders very
Pointed.
Pointed, yes.
Very prominent.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is our bestseller, and I think I represent Ame.m at this moment. I have a great news to tell you in first hand. I want to tell you about our amazing partnership with Fila.
Wow.
Yes. Fila is with us in Milan. We show the Trailblazer is an iconic sneaker from Fila, 100% leather, black color. It's amazing design. I have a special accessories to
decorate the shoes, the sneakers.
Yes, decorate the shoes.
Like small accessories.
Customize it. Yes, small customize it.
Wow.
To Ame.m. Yes, is
So you already have a partnership with a global brand like Fila.
Yes.
It's very difficult to have one brand that's like second collection, have an international partner.
Yes, and Fila is so demanding. You are so happy that a company like that trusting us, trusting in our project, in our second collection, is support us in Milan.
Great. Amazing news. So I hope you have like a lot of success. I'm sure you're going to have.
Thank you so much, Ale. Bye-bye.
Hello, Catherine. It's such a pleasure to speak with you, a fashion designer and an aerospace engineer. Wow. Thank you for joining us. I would love to hear all about you and Empress.
Hi, Alexandra. Nice to see you. I'm born to a Dutch father and a Brazilian mother, and I grew up in the Netherlands. I've always had a really strong pull towards fashion and beaches and everything since we would travel to Brazil all the time. And therefore, when I finally finished my degree, I saw an opportunity to start my own business to create a fashion brand that would bring together these, something that's mine. So my vision of the Brazilian culture mixed with international fashion trends. Yeah, it becomes something new and something fashionable that can be used not only on the beach, but also off the beach. I think this is one of the strong things about the label Empress. Mm-hmm. And while doing all this, we want to give the customer the best possible experience. We have a team of only women right now. Wow. It's a small team, but we care a lot for the team culture. We have a setup where we work with seamstresses in low-income communities, so we help them, we train them, so they have better opportunities for life also. And this is something that I think is important for customers to know, that we do have this social aspect as well. And putting it all together, I guess that gives you Empress. Well, what we try to be is this empowering brand for women that makes women feel beautiful and fashionable in differentiated, fashionable resort wear. I started in 2010 in the Netherlands, but then we moved to Brazil because we felt that the market in Brazil was really strong, and it was better for us to be based in Brazil because there was so many things happening, and for me to really include that essence, I felt it was necessary to be there. So in 2012, we opened the Brazilian office 12 years ago. So I make yearly collections, and we have some drops throughout the year. Mm-hmm. The collection typically it's quite big. I'd say it's about 150 different styles mm-hmm. and colors and stuff. Comprising of swimsuits, bikinis, and resort wear. So cover-ups, but also dresses and things that people now I see them wearing it in clubs or even to weddings and things. They're very elaborate.
Great. How do you feel the difference of the Brazilian girls and the consumers abroad?
So I think, well, each culture is different, obviously. What I feel that the people want from a Brazilian brand is, I think the Brazilian women and Brazilian culture is something that people want to be they want to have a little bit of that. I think Brazilian women are famous for being one of the prettiest women in the world. Like, you have all the beautiful supermodels, of course. Everybody knows about the beaches and Rio and the bikinis. I think that's something that's famous worldwide. So I think this is something people want when they buy a Brazilian brand, so that they can feel a little bit of this Brazilian essence and be that woman a little bit in some way.
So are you aware of the Brazilian core, right? This movement, I mean, hashtag.
Yeah. I think the Brazilian brands have gained a lot of popularity in abroad. I've lived in Miami for a year now and 8 years in New York prior to that. And I have a feeling that there has been a surge in Brazilian everything. You know, before it was the supermodels, it was the bikini, but now I feel like architecture is also something that people are looking at. Art. It's just, I think Brazil is starting to become more and more an art reference, a design reference, because of their it's not just, you know, embroideries and traditional things that maybe back in the day was more known for. I think Brazil brings an avant-garde, a modern look, a more urban an urban take on their, you know, from traditional heritage, traditional things that people are looking into. And you see big fashion brands becoming bigger outside Brazil, like Farm Rio is very popular, but, you know, other brands like Patch she also is, you know, one of the big names out there right now. And I feel that's a really good thing that we're getting more and more limelight.
Great. Do you have any particular item in your collection that you feel that resonate the most in the States and outside, I mean, in the Europe? When you're going to sell in your collection, how do you divide, I mean, the world?
Typically, and luckily for me, the best sellers and the popular items tend to be the same everywhere. So I think the styles that do best are the ones that are the closest to the brand identity, which is like the textures, but where the mix is the most visible, the mix between modern cut, high-end fabric, and fashion. So and comfort. So where these four things come together is the items that I sell the best, and that tends to be the same thing everywhere. Especially the bodysuits, I've noticed a big surge because in the last couple of years, this trend has become more evident to wear your swimwear off the beach. And I think my bodysuits, when I design them, I think of that purpose. You know, I think of something that would look cool with a pair of jeans or with a skirt or something like that. When I make my bikinis, it's not just, I have my little curtain bikinis to lay in the sun and whatever, but I also try to think of different shapes that make it interesting to wear it off the beach. And I think those type of things, those type of styles, they always attract attention because they are the most different.
Yeah. So that stereotype that Brazilian beachwear is just very small. I mean,
that's history. I don't feel like it's like that anymore. I'm sure there are brands like that. I actually also feel that there are several brands worldwide, especially in the US, that are even skimpier. To my opinion, very tacky. I don't think the high-end Brazilian beachwear has that aesthetic anymore.
So, Catherine, I wish you much success the next 10, 20, 30 years of the brand.
Thank you so much, Ale.
I think it's the first time that I interview a swimwear designer that's also an aerospace engineer.
Yeah. I haven't met it either, so I guess that's something people may remember me by then.
Thank you so much. That's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Fashion Label Brasil podcast. We'll be back soon with a new episode, but in the meantime, find us on Instagram at Fashion Label Brasil with S. Drop your question about Brazilian fashion in the comments. I will be happy to answer it. And don't forget to leave a rating or review. They really help us to reach more listeners. This podcast is brought to you by Abest and ApexBrasil. Talk to you soon. Ciao.